Welcome back. We are day one, game two of Goosebumps here in Denver, Colorado. I'm Grizz.
And I'm Leah.
And for game two, we have Tampa Roller Derby Brews Crew against Naughty Pines Roller Derby.
Let's run through some rosters really quick. For Tampa Roller Derby Brews Crew, we have 103 Crush, 301 Pucker Punch, 313 Bloody LaFleur, 32 Frisky Whiskers, 419 Banana Splits, 42 Anastasia, 446 Red Stiletto, number 6 Megalodon, number 666 Mean Bean, 69 Anaconda, 711 Shaka Bomb, and 941 Ashton Butcher.
All right, and for our Naughty Pines Roller Derby, we have 00 Bunyan Rings, 113 Duck and Shover, 123 Hooked on Onyx, 27 Merciless Savage, 31 Merry Death Pure, 44 Mocha Artichoke, 47 Whalem Jennings, 5 Abracadabra, 509 Mirror Brawl, 53 Hulk Hoagie, 5643 Seahorse Captain, 6 Big Ugly Girl, 66 Demonica, 88 Farah, and 911 Arson Daly.
All right, both teams sending their first packs out to the track. I was talking to the Tampa coaches, especially Coach Schlong, to find out what their expectations are for this game, and they don't know what to expect. They said watching the warm-ups, maybe it'll be close, but they couldn't figure it out from rankings.
That's fair. 5643 Seahorse Captain, jamming for Naughty Pines, taking the star off, working on their initial.
And Tampa is out for lead first, with Naughty Pines sending one blocker to the box.
Anastasia as a lead jammer for Tampa, trying to follow that offense to get through for those points.
And succeeds. We've got the turn coach over here waving a red handkerchief.
Ooh, I
We've got
love
green
the
and red
handkerchiefs.
handkerchiefs.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Tampa making it through, getting their points, calling it off. Going to start this next jam with one Naughty Pines blocker in the box. Captain 3-1, Mary Death. Great line work from 32.
Frisky Whiskers out first for lead for Tampa.
Tampa making it through for 4 points. Megalodon. Oh no, excuse me. Big Ugly Girl for Naughty Pines, working through initial, taking the star off.
Frisky Whiskers back through the pack again, another 4 points. That's 8 on this jam. And it looks like Naughty Pines managed to get a star pass off, so now they're in position to score.
It's going to be a star pass to Abracadabra. Abracadabra able to get through with the star and force Tampa to call it off. Tampa's going to start this next jam with one blocker in the box.
Going into jam 3, Tampa is down by 1 blocker.
Lots of movement from the Naughty Pines jammer before the jam start. Really trying to throw off the Tampa blockers.
And ran right into a brick wall on the inside line, tries the outside and earns a cut track, unfortunately. So power jam for Tampa. That's
Lead
number
still
69,
open.
Anaconda, jamming for Tampa. Lead is whistled while they go out of bounds, but it's a no pass, no penalty. Lead jammer to Tampa. Only jammer on the track to score right now. Pretty easy looking pass there with the help of a lot of offense from Tampa.
And Tampa did get lead, it looks like. Nice little hop, skip, and jump on the inside line from Anaconda.
Yeah, the Naughty Pines jammer is still facing a lot of defense out there. Number 00, Bunyan Rings. Tampa calls the jam off while Bunyan Rings was still on their initial.
And we'll end that jam with 8 for Tampa and 0 for Naughty Pines. Ashton Butcher starting in the box for Tampa as a blocker.
Tampa doing a great job with their defense finding the Naughty Pines jammer here, even down a blocker.
Yes.
So Tampa's out first with lead. That's number 419, Banana Splits. Doing some tough jamming in there.
Absolutely.
For a first scoring pass. Naughty Pines still stuck.
Mirror Brawl doing a little fake star pass to try to psych him out, see if it works. And that's going to be initial for Naughty Pines. Mirror Brawl. Tampa's going to go ahead and call it off.
So that's the end of Jam 4. I don't think we've seen any repeat jammers yet.
No.
And at the end of that cycle, it's 29-0 for Tampa. I think they got lead on each of those as well.
And we're going to take a quick medic timeout. Thank you to all our medics keeping us safe. Love seeing our skaters go back to their bench off the track. Box is clear. Gonna head into Jam 5 with full force from both teams on the track.
Both teams at full power. For Tampa, we've got Anastasia versus
Tampa out on the line. We have number 4-2, Anastasia, excuse
And
me.
Seahorse captain for Naughty Pines. Naughty Pines using some offense there as a battering ram through that wall.
Nice.
But it doesn't work, and Tampa's out first.
A directional call on 4-4-6 pivot for
A little bit of
Tampa.
confusion right there, but both jammers are still clean. Nobody sent to the box in that little fray.
Tampa gonna get their points, call it off. It's gonna be all 4 for Tampa, leaving Naughty Pines at 0. Yeah, the Tampa defense doing a really good job at keeping Naughty Pines at 0, and smart call-offs as well from the jammers and coaching staff.
Yeah, and Tampa's starting down packs a lot.
Yeah.
They've been only 3 blockers on the track and still managing to find that jammer.
Yeah.
As they do there, knocking the jammer out to the outside. Not getting a recycle on it. Tampa looking like they're about to get a penalty, actually.
Okay. Really great
Number
work.
32, Frisky Whiskers, going to the box with a penalty. It is a power jam for Naughty Pines, and they pass the star, so this pivot is going to have to run
All right.
the rest of this jam.
This pivot, Mocha Artichoka was doing some great work already. Doing some great offense at the start, going into defense, and now they're going to jam too in this jam.
All the blockers just blocking in a big giant clump here. No strategy, everyone for themselves trying to figure.
Ooh.
Wow.
That was impressive. Big recycle back
Yeah.
from Tampa.
Finally, the pack spreads out a little bit as the Tampa Jammer re-enters.
Lots of big hits already in this game. And another hop, skip, jump. As a Naughty Pines blocker, 8-8 Farah headed to the box.
Frisky Whiskers with some pretty good awareness there, seeing that the initiator of that block went out of bounds.
That
Got
is
a
what
no
the ref
pass, no
signaled,
penalty.
yes. So no penalty there. That was a little jammer on jammer action. Naughty Pines jammer making sure that inside apex jump was not an option. Super smart choice.
Last few seconds in this jam, both jammers just fighting to get an extra point or two. Let's see what we have on that one.
Ooh, we got points on the board for Naughty Pines.
Yep, 4 points each.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. We're getting warmed up. We're going.
And that was Mocha Artichoke, a pivot for Naughty Pines, putting up their first 4 points of the game.
Nice. Once again, we got a Tampa blocker starting in the box. Their pivot.
And Naughty Pines kind of forcing a front start. They started in the front. They get lead. Number 00 Bunyan Rings out for lead for Naughty Pines.
Nice.
Little change of strategy, immediate success.
Yes.
Bunyan Rings kind of just bouncing around through that pack. Gets a 4-0 jam, first jam that they've held Tampa to 0.
All right, let's go. Getting a little bit of a shift change.
Naughty Pines starting in the back here again. Sometimes you see the strategy change doesn't filter to both walls, right? One wall figures out something and the other wall
That's right.
hasn't yet, or didn't, or just trying something else.
Right.
But Naughty Pines defense doing a better job this time.
That's right. We got a 2-wall fighting up front. And Naughty Pines jammer, number 509, Mirror Brawl, headed to the box on a penalty.
Yep, it's 419 banana splits, the only jammer on the track right now for Tampa. Tampa decides to do a little bit of passive offense, and now they change the strategy up and attack, trying to get their jammer through. But the Naughty Pines defense being flexible and recycling to the front. Still no lead jammer.
Still no lead. Tampa gonna try to control pack.
Tampa sending a little bit of offense again, holding back a little bit of defense because Naughty Pines is back out. They killed almost that entire power jam.
Great offense from 103 Crush up at the top there to get their jammer through. That is another cut penalty for the Naughty Pines jammer. 509 Mirror Brawl.
Yep, banana splits still out there. Oh, her bench is saying call it. The bench is saying call it. And they get the message and they call it. I guess they wanted to ice this jammer.
Sounds like a great strategic choice.
Yeah, good call.
I love these Tampa uniforms. They're so bright.
Going into this next jam, we've got Mirror Brawl. Frozen in the box. Just kidding. Not just kidding, but now we've got an official timeout.
Going into an official timeout. I don't really have a clue on what is happening.
Looks looks like our PTLT was clarifying what the penalty was.
Let's see.
$2 a minute. What a great deal.
Tampa going into a power jam for this next jam with number 4-2, Anastasia.
And they're looking to sweep the inside line and open it up, and Naughty Pines shut it down. That's number 911, Arson Daly, taking the jammer to the outside, or I'm sorry, to the inside.
Yeah, Merciless Savage helping on that big hit out too.
But the persistence of the offense pays off, and Tampa out for lead.
Naughty Pines jammer making their way back to the track from the penalty box.
Mirror ball back on the track for Naughty Pines. Immediately takes the helmet cover off and starts looking for a pass.
Anastasia coming around fast to hit that front of the pack.
That's going to be a cut on Anastasia. We're going to go 2 minutes here in this jam. There's been a star pass. Naughty Pines has number 88, Farrah Bone Breaker. Takes a little bit of a spill to the inside line. Another spill, spilling her way through the pack.
Hey, it counts. Have the Tampa blocker trying to recycle back. Great defensive reform from Tampa up at the top. Naughty Pines really trying to get in there to help break them up. As that Tampa jammer sneaks back in on the track.
Another penalty, so this is a pivot as a jammer. Farrah Bone Breaker headed to the box with 20 seconds left in the jam, so they're still going to be in there.
Ooh.
Just a lot of scrummy action here in the. Ooh.
And some big hits to take us to wrap up that jam.
Yep. So Naughty Pine starts with a pivot in the box as the jammer, joined by another teammate, another blocker. So that's a big disadvantage there on that start. I saw some really good teamwork and awareness during that jam. There was a moment where Naughty Pine's jammer got knocked out and recycled, and then their teammate knocked out the initiator, and then the jammer came back in where they were instead of coming all the way back.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a sneaky one. Naughty Pines had a little bit of confusion going into this jam, trying to figure out their blockers, and they did not field a pivot for this jam.
At number 32, Frisky Whiskers out for lead for Tampa. The Naughty Pines jammer is back out on the track. Can't find even a single little inch of progress against that Tampa defense.
They're so coordinated and work so well together on those hit outs especially.
Yep, Ashton Butcher with a good force out and continuing the recycle.
That's right. Super smart to not get the directional on the way.
Ashton Butcher was looking to the inside like, I think that was very close to a cut.
Ref
that
said, no.
That seemed extremely close.
Those curves, it gets tricky on the curves, you know.
Yeah.
This defensive wall watching pack while still maintaining contact with the jammer, doing some great work back here.
Yeah, Farrah is not able to move that tripod an inch, and now it's all on Farrah because it's a power jam in favor of Naughty Pines.
Let's go, Naughty Pines. There we go, offense. Offense really working to mix up the Tampa walls. Unfortunately, going to report to the box.
These power jams are tough. Like we've seen the pack just like kind of clump up and be an 8 wall in front of the jammer. Well, right now a 7 wall because we have one blocker in the box, but it is tough. There's not a single spot to go out there.
No.
Yeah, everywhere is covered by this defense, despite all the offense that's happening.
That's right. And 6-6-6 for Tampa. Mean Bean, the final knockout on the last of that jam. Naughty Pines is going to start this next jam with 2 blockers in the box.
Jamming for Tampa's Banana Splits out, and Naughty Pines jammer number 47, Waylon Jennings. That's a new jammer, I think, followed right through the same hole.
That's right.
Yep.
Tampa says, let's call it. Let's start over.
Yeah, that's a great way to be not lead jammer.
Yes.
When you follow the other team right through the hole they made, and you're right behind them, and then they just call it off.
That's the way to be. Tampa smart, not wasting any time with that either. If they're going to call it, keep the opposing blocker in the box too.
Yeah, actually, like that worked out super well for Naughty Pines because they managed to free one of their blockers who were in the box.
Right.
They were down 4-2 in blockers on the track, managed to get out, shut it down with just 0-0.
That's right.
We're in an official timeout right now with the head official over there at the Naughty Pines bench explaining something.
Oh, I see that.
Looks like.
That looks,
Oh, we're sending someone to the
I
box.
think, a cut. Yep.
Yeah, we've got a cut on a blocker. It is so
It
echoey
is a
in here.
blocker, not a jammer.
It is so hard to hear the coaches just yelling across the whole track, and all the skaters just like I don't know what you're saying. We have too many skaters. That's what they're saying.
Great suck back defense from Tampa.
Yeah, Anastasia out first for Tampa, as you might expect when they have a 4-2 blocker advantage. Waylon Jennings out for the second jam in a row, actually.
Right. I thought that was the same jammer.
Yep.
And a multiplayer being issued to Mean Bean on Tampa.
So Naughty Pines is in scoring position, and Tampa looks like they're still going to run that jam long. I think they were maybe trying to clear the penalty box there.
I see a timeout hand sign coming from the Naughty Pines bench.
We have 12 minutes left in this game. Score is 69-12 in favor of Tampa Roller Derby Brews Crew over the Naughty Pines.
All right. Don't forget, if you are in the building this weekend, to head over to our merch booth. We have our visiting teams with their merch, as well as our local Denver merch, and some really great tournament shirts and patches. Those patches will go quick. They always do, and there's just a few, so go grab them. But Leah, have you seen the Goosifer shirt?
No.
I bought one.
Okay.
It's really cute.
Okay. No, I can imagine the Goosifer.
We've had some really fun merch this year. Good job, Denver merch crew.
We have people watching. Yeah, 74 viewers. So we might have to explain Goosifer.
Oh, Goosifer. Yeah, I guess that's out of context.
Yeah, well, 5-second warning. So we're about to start this jam with Tampa down 1 blocker.
It's like
Anastasia jamming for Tampa,
But that
about
is-
to find room through the pack, but is not lead because actually number 6, Big Ugly Girl for Naughty Pines had already earned lead,
that's right.
despite clearing the pack second.
Naughty Pines gonna run it. Naughty
All right.
Pines getting all 4 points.
Yeah, and their bench is hyped about that.
Yes, they should be. Tampa squeezing in 2 for that jam, but losing 1 blocker to the box.
Naughty Pines jammer is Seahorse Captain, making their way through the pack, but is out second, actually, to number 69, Anaconda. So Tampa in position to score first. Tampa trying to make some points.
Maybe trying to get their blocker out of the box. Ooh, gonna call it. See if Naughty Pines. Nope.
Yeah, that 4-0 jam brought to you by the offense from Tampa, because they cleared that inside line on the apex.
Yes.
And yeah, Anaconda just had to like lift one foot a little bit to get through the little little gap on the inside line. Easy.
That's all those jammers need.
Yeah.
Just a little boop.
Jammers love that, I think, when you play offense.
Do they? We got, I think that's Bunyan Rings out there. Juking around.
Yep, 0-0 Bunyan Rings against 419 Banana Splits and the defense is tough on both sides on the start. All 4 blockers working against each jammer, so no offense yet. And Tampa sends 1 blocker to the box. That Tampa defense is still super, super tough out there.
Super solid. Naughty Pines doing really good recycling around this jammer. Really just keeps molding and meshing and reforming.
Just a complete stalemate out there. Lead is open. Naughty Pines jammer has
both jammers headed back.
Bunyan Rings took the star off and is out first, not lead.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably they heard some whistles and thought that was lead jammer, and it wasn't. It was a penalty for someone.
Like there's some confusion with the ref crews. I believe lead.
Looks like we're losing video.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Okay.
We're back. Tampa is lead. It's a little bit of a late assessment.
Well, Banana Split's still out there racking up points while we have technical issues.
That's great.
And Bunyan Ring's taking a little bit of a break. That defense has...
Another blocker reporting to the box as Banana Splits comes through for another 4 points. And Bunyan Ring sneaking by on the inside as well.
Yep, Bunyan Rings for another 4 points. Oh, the jammer for Tampa is signaling lead now, and they are... Oh, that's one of those unfortunate moments where the jammer is signaling to call it, and then you call it, and they get the call off, but the jammer is going to the box. It was a back block.
So it was a really great hit out from 113 Duck and Shover. Naughty Pines.
Power jam for Naughty Pines, and the jam is on already. But
and we're going. Tampa's also down a blocker. Hopefully Naughty Pines can really take advantage of this. Oh, that's going to be a big recycle by Ashton Butcher.
yeah, Big Ugly Girl working against this Tampa defense. It's pretty spread out right now. And they managed to find a way through, get lead jammer, while Tampa is, their jammer is standing in the penalty box right now.
Banana Splits pushing hard against these last 2 Naughty Pines blockers.
Yeah, Banana Splits finding a lot more movement against this wall than the last jam.
Yes. I do think Naughty Pines picked up a multiplayer block penalty right at the end of that jam. So they will start this next jam with 3 blockers.
Looks like it, and looks like Naughty Pines has sent 4 blockers out there onto the track, plus 1 in the box.
Uh-oh.
Naughty Pines still starting in the back.
Able to notice this. Too many blockers on the track.
Yeah, we'll see the officials sort that out, I guess.
Yeah.
Tough defense from both sides here on the start, except now it's Whalem Jennings for Naughty Pines putting a lot of pressure on the defense at the front there, and they're all split up and trying to get back together, and they've like gelled into a little wall again.
Yes. Ooh, Anastasia sneaking on by to get lead for Tampa.
Yep. Finally, the Naughty Pines defense was the first to make a mistake and leave a hole wide open there for Anastasia, who's about to score. Just slithers on by on the inside line there. That was such a deceptive looking juke that happened there. So that was 4 points for Tampa, none
For Gretchen
for
Wieners.
Naughty Pines.
For Naughty Pines.
Seahorse captain taking the line for Naughty Pines. And that is Frisky Whiskers. Frisky Whiskers for Tampa.
Frisky Whiskers.
Frisky Whiskers
Woo!
finds a way on the outside line there. Out for lead.
Multiplayer call penalty for 666 Mean Bean on Tampa.
Seahorse captain and Ashton Butcher just having a little one-on-one moment out there in the front. Seahorse captain gets out, is in position to score. We'll see if Tampa lets him score. Nope, calls it right before.
It's going to be 0-0.
Yeah, Tampa seems very aware of the penalty box, trying to
Yes.
clear their penalties out. They're like waiting until the last second when the time is right to, burn some of that penalty time.
That's right. And these two teams are actually from two different regions. So this would be a GER game for this tournament.
There's a timeout there called by Schlong. Tampa wanted a team timeout.
Ooh. But Tampa is visiting, obviously, from Tampa, Florida, and the South region of gameplay. Naughty Pines from up here more locally.
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah. Or
from
no, I'm
the
sorry,
NA
not
I think it's
South Dakota. Nebraska,
Nebraska?
right? Yeah.
I thought it was Colorado. Maybe it's
It's
Nebraska.
not Colorado.
Okay. Either way, in the NA West region, though. Our head official speaking to the Naughty Pines bench. Let's see, looks like no penalty. Maybe just some chatting.
Yeah, that's the end of the team timeout. Looks like Tampa has a fresh jammer in their rotation.
Oh, that's right.
I can't identify them right yet.
Ooh, tricky work from the Naughty Pines jammer.
No, that's not a fresh jammer. That's Anaconda. Anaconda manages to push their way out for a lead. Gets lead, sends a blocker to the box with a multiplayer.
Everyone went to the box on that one.
Two Naughty Pines blockers to the box.
And a Tampa blocker. Woo! Nice little footwork jump. Naughty Pines with 2. Tampa's going to call it off.
That's I think that's a good feeling for jammers when they not only get lead, but like 2 blockers that touch them during that initial pass end up going to the box.
Yeah. That probably feels good.
Yeah. Yep. Your next pass through ought to be easy.
Yeah.
Easier.
Oh, jam is on. Banana Splits just sneaking on by again on the outside.
Yeah, Banana Splits taking the outside, looking like nobody saw that they're.
Same team.
Banana Splits back in position to score with Naughty Pines still stuck in the pack.
Number 5, Abracadabra, out on their initial. But Tampa's going to go ahead and call it off before they get a scoring pass.
Yeah, a lot of blocker penalties so far, and they're
Yes.
pretty critical.
There were
literally like the last 4 blocker penalties I saw was the person who's currently holding the jammer
right.
getting a penalty, going to the box, and then the jammer gets out.
Yes.
It's not just the 30 seconds that that's the potential punishment for those
Right.
penalties.
That's right. A lot of penalties in our first game today, too. So officials really on it and paying attention this morning.
Both jammers cross each other before they engage with the walls, and that's Waylon Jennings out first.
Right.
Anastasia out second. So both jammers about to score with Naughty Pines in the lead.
Some great offense. And a big, big, big call off from Naughty Pines.
Yeah, Waylon Jennings went to the outside there and was like, there's a lot of people between me and the jam ref, and I need them to know
That's
that
right.
I'm calling
That's
off.
right.
Yeah.
Ashton Butcher for Tampa going to start in the box as a blocker this jam.
Frisky Whiskers on the line for Tampa. I can't see that. This looks like maybe a new jammer here for Naughty Pines. That's Mocha Artichoke.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw Mocha Artichoke pivoting so far this game.
Tough defense here, except there you go, a multiplayer block on Naughty Pines, and Tampa gets out with lead.
Yep. That's a star pass for Naughty Pines. Almost made it through, but crushed with the big hit out on the outside.
Yeah, great awareness there, and that attempted apex jump looked epic, but it was blocked epically.
It was, and it was issued. Oh no, that was the blocker who received the illegal contact.
Well, Naughty Pines in position to score. Tampa's going to decide if they'll let them. Nope, they will not let them score.
Not quite.
10 seconds left in the half. Let's see if either team elects to call a timeout here. Try to get another jam. Looks like neither side wants to do that.
We'll wait for the whistle.
There's the whistle for intermission. We are at Tampa 104 and Naughty Pines 24 after 30 minutes.
I'm excited to see how Naughty Pines comes back to the second half. We saw them already making some little switches on, where they were starting to that front to back. Maybe the walls can talk and see what they're all learning. Make some changes in the second half.
Yeah. Find some ways to get more lead jammers.
Yeah.
And stay out of the penalty box.
Yes.
Both teams need to work on that one.
All right. Be back in 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's halftime. Back
All
in
right.
14 minutes.
Perfect
All right,
timing.
welcome back. That was the whistle to start the second half.
Let's go.
I'm Leah, and I'm with,
Grizz.
yep.
Yay.
And we're here to announce the second half of Tampa Brews Crew versus Naughty Pines Derby Dames.
Naughty Pines Roller Derby.
Oh yeah.
A new name.
That's a misprint.
Previously Derby Dames, now Naughty Pines Roller
I'm so
Derby.
sorry, Naughty Pines. Also, I found out that they're from Laramie, Wyoming.
Yes.
And like I knew that information and then forgot it since the last time they were here.
You know? Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's going to be lead.
Yeah, Anastasia out for lead for Tampa.
On a completed star pass for Naughty Pines.
Well, that Seahorse captain is the pivot for Naughty Pines, still trying to struggle their way through that Tampa defense that is playing very tough right now.
But that is a track cut for the Naughty Pines Jammer.
Yeah, Anastasia on a power jam, does a little one hand out so they can't be recycled, stands back up and gets through that 2-wall for their second for 4 points of the jam?
I believe
second
so.
4-point pass, yeah. No, that's their
No,
third.
that's first.
That's their third 4-point pass.
We're on it. And coming through again, dancing on that line for another 4 points.
Naughty Pines Jammer is just released from the box. Seahorse captain engages with that Tampa wall, and it's just as tough as it was when they left the track the first time.
That's right. Big recycle up front from Tampa. All 4 blockers able to lock down the Naughty Pines Jammer again.
Naughty Pines sending some offense there.
Nice.
And it works. Get through on the inside line, offense versus a 4-wall. It still worked to open up the inside line.
Yep.
Force Tampa to call it off and shut down that big jam
That was a big jam.
by Anastasia. I talked to Coach Schlong during the halftime, and she said that Tampa is going to be working on control. There's no reason to spread apart or do anything risky when you have a lead this big. And she also said that they are going to change up their lineups because they're experimenting for something that they're going to do on Sunday. So like kind of a big strategic effort there.
Little sneak peek. That's lead for Naughty Pines.
Yeah, Waylon Jennings just faked to the outside, went to the inside and found it wide open.
And Tampa Jammer going to the box. Number 32, Frisky Whiskers. This is a power jam for Naughty Pines. I've really enjoyed watching Crush on Tampa today. 103, really great line coverage, really strong defensive work.
Yeah, and this pivot for Tampa, Mean Bean, is just all over the track.
Yes.
Like one-on-one now at the top against Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings finally figures out a way past.
Ooh, big hits everywhere out there. Big recycle back on the Tampa Jammer, who's now back on the track. And unfortunately is gonna go back to the box on a cut.
Yeah, track cut for Frisky Whiskers. They're gonna sit with like, oh, the jam is called.
Naughty Pines will start this jam at about probably a full 30-second power jam.
Yeah, I think that's a smart call off there,
Yeah,
right? You ice that jammer in the box. That jammer's had 2 penalties in the last jam.
yeah.
And, I think you do that to hope that they'll keep getting those penalties.
That's right.
You want that same jammer on the track. And that can be a challenge for a jammer to sit there in the penalty box, know that they have to do a whole another jam, probably not be lead,
Right.
and manage to do it clean.
That's correct. Naughty Pines really working hard to do some offense against Tampa defense. And there we go. That's going to be lead for number 6'6".
DeMonica.
DeMonica.
A fresh jammer in the rotation for Naughty Pines.
I think so. Ooh, sneaking through on the inside.
Wow, yeah, they got a little bump on that apex jump and just kept on going. Frisky Whiskers manages to get through clean. We'll see if Naughty Pines elects to keep scoring, or are they going to call it? They call it. Or they try to. Wow, okay, so Naughty Pines trying to shut that jam down before Tampa could score, but they get a forearm penalty.
No call off. This will go the entire 2 minutes. About another minute left in this jam. Great recycling from Naughty Pines all the way to the front.
Yeah, this Naughty Pines defense being very they're not together in a tripod, but still very, very tough.
Yes, yeah. Frisky Whisker is able to push on through, though, for 4 points.
Yeah, like I was saying about, starting a jam in a box after you've been to the box 2 times, and Frisky Whiskers is out there having to do a 2-minute jam.
Yes, yeah.
After having started in the box, which is just, mentally tough.
That is, yes.
And they're still fighting to get through, fighting layers and layers of Naughty Pines defense, and goes to the box. Goes to the box with a forearm.
Oh, is that the fourth penalty in 2 games? Third. That's a tough spot to be in.
So I talked to, another thing I talked to Schlong about was the altitude. Tampa,
right. That's right.
Tampa has an elevation of 0, and Laramie, Wyoming has an elevation of like 7,200 feet.
Wow.
That is 2,000 feet above this venue right now.
Right.
So that's a huge advantage.
That is a massive advantage. Oh, nice work from, I think is
That's Big Ugly Girl getting
Big Ugly
lead
Girl.
on a power jam. Frisky Whiskers for Tampa has already taken the star off in the penalty box.
Smart choice.
Ready to pass it as soon as they get back out there. And Big Ugly Girl finds a massive Tampa wall and no offense to help. And all of the Naughty Pines blockers now have to focus on defense again because Tampa is back on the track.
I've seen a lot in our chat about Frisky Whiskers really liking toes. So I'm going to send all the good toe vibes to Frisky Whiskers in this jam. I don't really know what that means, but I'm here for it. The toes worked.
Well, Frisky Whiskers manages to get off the track and go back to the bench. Got a new set of jammers out here. It looks like Seahorse Captain for Naughty Pines. And we are just not in position to see numbers. I have to wait. Anaconda.
I think, yes.
Yeah, Anaconda for Tampa.
Both pivots for both teams starting in the box. Big recycle out.
Yeah, Anaconda with like 1 to beat at the top and manages to get out first for lead. Seahorse Captain is stuck in the pack with no pivot on the track with them. Oh my gosh, Seahorse Captain just dumped on the ground by a one-on-one at the top. Gets back up and manages to get through because they never went out of bounds.
That's right. I'm calling that jam off. And we'll have number 5, Abracadabra, in the box for Naughty Pines.
Naughty Pines making some last-minute adjustments to their lineup and starting with a tripod in the back and sneaking into the front Tampa with like a 2-2.
Ooh, yeah, Tampa trying to kind of clog them up on the lines.
And you know what? Tampa's defense starting apart like that did not work out because DeMonica is lead for Naughty Pines.
Yes, Banana Split still working through the defensive Naughty Pines wall. Have a Naughty Pines blocker reporting to the box for a high block. DeMonica making it around for some more points, calling it off.
Just got a blocker cycle going on in the penalty box right now.
Really do, yeah.
Yeah. A little earlier, I was going to say that the skating officials are winning.
Yes.
And especially the jam refs.
Yeah.
The jam refs are doing a lot of work out there.
That's right, they are.
Seeing a lot of penalties. I think mostly cuts.
A lot of cuts, a lot of jammer cuts.
So Naughty Pines starting with only 2 blockers and playing some solid defense until the pack splits. And Anastasia is out first for lead. These Naughty Pines jammers have been cutting it very close on the track cuts. When they get recycled, they're like trying to come in 1 inch behind the hips of the opponents, and it has not paid off multiple times, including that time.
Yeah, Big Ugly Girl going to the box on a track cut, which will be a power jam for Tampa. Looks like another forearm call for the Tampa pivot.
Anastasia hitting that tough 4 wall, and then a delayed offense comes in and just spreads everything out. Yeah, knocked several people down. That offense crushed it for Anastasia.
Oh, big hit out to Big Ugly Girl at the top there.
Anastasia doing so much. I wish I had stats in front of me because I feel like they've got to have 80 of these points.
Yes. Big Ugly Girl taking off the helmet cover.
Timeout called by Naughty Pines after a 16-0 jam.
Nice.
For Tampa. And it's an official review, actually. So the coaches and captains from both benches out there huddling up.
And it looks like in the chat, we have a birthday happening on the track right now. Number 301 for Tampa, Pucker Punch. Happy birthday.
There are so many little like 2000s references in these derby names. Ashton Butcher, Arson Daly.
Yeah, yeah. We do have skate rats in the building today as well. Here for all your derby needs. I'm always impressed with how much, a little bit of everything they manage to bring to these tournaments. They got wheels, they got bags, they got mouth guards, they've got helmets, they can fix your skates. They can do it all.
And they ship.
And they do ship, that's
Yes.
right.
So if you're listening from Tampa,
Yeah.
or wherever, I don't know if you have a skate shop in Tampa, probably.
We also have Rhino Sports Massage in the building today, one of our dedicated Denver sponsors. Go ahead, check them out. I've had a really great experience with them, I know. They're doing massages in the building today.
Are we going to get information? Oh, no.
No.
that was about, Tampa was looking to get a forearm called, and they did not win.
It's like,
Yeah, the house announcer said that Tampa called that official review and they were looking for a forearm. Did not specify on who. Tampa with lead first. Frisky Whiskers grabbed lead but is recycled.
Waylon Jennings working through for Naughty Pines.
Yeah, second attempt, Frisky Whiskers got back out, so they're in scoring position now for Tampa. Waylon Jennings gets out too, so this might be the last pass here of this jam. Frisky Whiskers sneaking right through the middle, calling it off before Naughty Pines could take another little shot there at the top.
Like a little jam. We've got about a little under 17 minutes left in this half. Tampa at 156 and Naughty Pines at 44.
Yeah, Naughty Pines has scored 20 points in this half so far, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, they scored 24 in the first half.
Right?
So a little bit of a better half so far, it seems.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anaconda out first for lead for Tampa. And Big Ugly Girl manages to slip right. It did not look like the inside line was open.
Yep.
Slipped right through.
Red Stiletto for Tampa went back to the box again. I feel like, I don't know, I don't have the stats in front of me, but they might be getting close there. It seems they've taken off their pivot. Maybe that'll help draw some eyes away.
The Coach Long said that they came up here with just 12 on their roster for this, so coming from sea level to 5280. And, with kind of no players to spare.
Right. Plus they travel. You got to do all the travel the day before, all that. Banana Split's going to push hard on that front Naughty Pines wall to the no pack.
Yeah, 2 tough 3 walls. And the Naughty Pines 3 wall breaks down first during the no pack.
Oh, Naughty Pines jammer going to the box. This is a power jam for Banana Splits in Tampa. Great offensive hit from Ashton Butcher out there.
Oh, big hit there to knock down Banana Splits.
Yeah.
It took everything because they went down as well. Banana Splits coming back for the second scoring pass. Naughty Pines jammer just standing up in the box. Yeah, Tampa changes up their offensive strategy during these. Sometimes they hit first, sometimes it's delayed.
Right.
It's not always the same, and I'm sure there's a method to the madness.
Absolutely. And Arson Daly jamming for Naughty Pines right now. Coming in hard to hit that defensive Tampa wall. But has met my Mean Bean there at the corner and recycled back. Tampa's going to go ahead and call that off. It's going to be 7 for Tampa in that jam and 0 for Naughty Pines.
We've got a couple teams that are eager to start on the pivot line here. And Naughty Pines kind of forcing the opportunity to be in the front, and they take it. Let's see how this changes.
Ooh.
Tough defense and knocking the jammer out. I mean, that worked.
That's right. Some big recycle. Going to throw in a little offense on the run back as well. Unfortunately, going to end in a penalty, though.
Anastasia out for lead first, but mirror brawl right behind.
Ooh, and running real fast. Oh, they're ready to catch that jammer. I love to see it. I love to see it. Oh, they probably got some points. Let's see.
Yeah, Anastasia really wanted to get those points, and
oh, interesting.
Wow.
It's going to be 0 for Tampa. 2? 2 for Naughty Pines.
2 for Naughty Pines, 0 for Tampa.
Wow.
Yeah. Anastasia really wanted those points.
Yeah.
And kept going for them until they got knocked out of bounds, but by that point, Naughty Pines had already scored. The risks you take.
That's right. That was great hustle from the Naughty Pines jammer. They really were skating up there to get those points.
Frisky
Ooh,
Whiskers.
a little jammer on jammer action.
Yeah, Frisky Whiskers knocked out of bounds by the opposing jammer. That is Abracadabra. Frisky Whiskers out first. Some of these names are so hard to say.
I've been saying abracadabra this whole time. So sorry. That's going to be a power jam for Tampa. Ooh, great little sneak following the offensive Mean Bean. Mean Bean says, let's control the pack a little. Let's use that as offense. And a great choice. Tampa setting up their offense for this next scoring pass.
The offense comes in delayed, a sweep on the inside line, and it works beautifully.
Ooh.
But number 27, Merciless Savage, manages to catch that jammer at the top.
That's right. This is going to be I believe this is actually a penalty, excuse me, not a penalty, an injury call-off. Not on the track, but in the penalty box.
Yeah, some confusion right here.
Ooh. We do have that dry air up here too. Get your nose. We're going to take a little bit of an official timeout.
Yeah, I think the jammer that was in the box has a nosebleed in there. They're replacing the jammer.
Interesting. That's so fun. I don't know if I've ever seen a injury call-off from the box versus the track.
If there's blood, you got to call it.
That's right. That's right. Especially if you're wearing a white jersey. That's not fun. Got about 11 minutes left in this game. It's the end of the timeout. We're going to get back to some derby.
No,
they may have completed their
empty.
penalty.
I bet they served their whole penalty.
Yeah.
So Tampa starting in the front with a front three wall that catches that jammer immediately. Tough defense on both sides.
Let's see. It's going to be lead for, is that Anastasia? I think that's Anastasia in Tampa.
No, that's Anaconda.
Oh, excuse me.
It's Anaconda.
Anaconda.
Naughty Pines executed a star pass, so they're about to score next. Looks like Tampa is either killing time or they're killing time.
Ooh.
Naughty Pines might have got a point out of that one.
Couple little tumbles there at the end.
Naughty Pines got 2 points.
Naughty Pines will start this next jam with 1 blocker in the box.
Really seems like Tampa is trying to call these jams late in order to have to play fewer jams in the game and waste the time because they're from sea level.
Right.
But sometimes the gamble doesn't pay off.
So there was a lot of confusion there at that start. A lot of rough communication to the track. It looks like at the end of that last jam, they sent a blocker to the box at the last minute. So 1 blocker needed to leave the track.
Yeah. Banana Splits knocked down by a hit that was penalized there. Gets back up and keeps scoring. It looked like a low block. Tampa's defense just locking down. Well, as soon as I say that, the Naughty Pines pivot just manages to like pop themselves over the edge of the wall somehow and get out.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Before they didn't score any points.
It's a timeout call for Naughty Pines.
Go check out Denver's merch over there. It looks really cool. They got t-shirts. They got tank tops. They got shorts. No. Just kidding. Tricks.
We have some officials chatting in the middle
They have some over there, so
with one of our blockers. Oh, just chatting.
Yeah, Naughty Pines team timeout right now. Just over 9 minutes left in the game. Scores 186 for Tampa Brews Crew over Naughty Pines roller derby. Oh, it's 186 to 49. So Naughty Pines has scored more points than they did in the first half.
That's
so far.
right. And I believe we're going into an official review, possibly called by Tampa. It's not what the scoreboard says, but
Uh,
No, they lost their review.
well, that was a team timeout, and now there is
no, they have a review.
an official review.
Tampa's official review. We'll try to find out here in a minute what it is.
Okay, well, the officials are huddled up discussing whatever was brought to them, I think, by Tampa.
Officials are now discussing said official review. That was requested by Tampa Roller League.
So Tampa B, after this game, they have Saturday off,
Good.
and then they have a game Sunday against San Fernando Valley.
Ooh, I think we'll see San Fernando Valley in this next game, too.
Yeah, San Fernando Valley, who plays next. Naughty Pines will have a game tomorrow on Saturday against the Denver Roller Derby Layovers.
Layovers.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was a standby game. I guess I'm wrong. That is the whistle to end the official review.
Well, no changes to the penalty box.
Requesting a delay of game penalty, which they did not do. So now both
Tampa was requesting a delay of game penalty on Naughty Pines for fielding too many blockers.
Yeah, and they did field too many blockers, but what happened was the officials caught it very quickly,
Correct.
sent that extra blocker off the track, and everything's fixed. And in that situation, no penalties are warranted. Anastasia trying to find a way back onto the track after a very confusing recycle. And Anastasia is actually lead.
That's
So
right.
When they got that hit at the very top of the pack to get knocked out of bounds, they just by a sliver managed to get lead. But neither team's scoring yet. We have kind of a stalemate here in the pack with both defenses really focusing entirely
That's right.
on while both teams of blockers focusing entirely on defense. Anastasia finally clears their initial pass.
And coming in for the scoring pass. Sneaks on through.
Yeah, and sneaks is the word. That was like slowly creeping up onto the pack and then finding a little hole.
Also, shout out to all these Naughty Pine blockers. Or skaters. I feel like I've seen them all take on different positions in this game. They're able to rotate through, pivot, jammer, blocker, and all able to keep working together. Naughty Pine's getting the star through.
Yeah, Onyx. Hooked on Onyx. Starting the jam with that star. We failed to notice at the beginning of the jam a new jammer for Naughty Pines.
12-point jam for Tampa.
Is that, I think Bunyan Rings reporting to the box as a jammer? Pivot? Pivot.
Yeah, as a pivot.
Looks like we have Frisky Whiskers, and I believe that's Mirror Brawl out on the line.
Yeah, Naughty Pines starting down a blocker and not able to stop Frisky Whiskers, who finds a hole on the inside line and tiptoes on it. Frisky Whiskers back in scoring position.
Ooh.
Finds the inside line undefended. Tampa, meanwhile, defending the whole track.
That's right.
With Mean Bean especially back here just making it impossible for Naughty Pines.
That's right. Big hit out. Frisky Whiskers being recycled to the back. And a star pass for Naughty Pines, with Bunyan Rings becoming the jammer for this jam.
Yep. Meanwhile, Frisky Whiskers just, scooting along the outside line on the toe stops, picking up another scoring pass.
That's right. They like the toes. It looks like Bunyan Rings going to the box as the jammer.
This is one of those jams, your Frisky Whiskers, you're like, I'm from sea level.
Yes.
And I don't have a good reason to call this jam off yet. They just went to the box.
Yes.
Can we please?
Ooh, Naughty Pines doing a great hit out with just the two blockers.
Good awareness by Frisky Whiskers to see that initiator went down and came in front of them, because you can do that.
Yes. But still another recycle to Frisky Whiskers. I say I'm good. I'm good. Let's call.
Yeah, we're going to start this next jam with under 5 minutes left on the clock. 212 to 49. It's like a 4-to-1 ratio.
Yep. We got all of our blockers and all of our jammers out there for this jam. See Red Stiletto setting up some offense there.
All four Naughty Pines blockers up here playing some hard defense, struggling to keep Anaconda in the pack, sending one of them to the box actually, and Anaconda manages to force her way through.
Ooh, that was great footwork, just stepping on over. I love seeing Big Ugly Girl use their blocker to try to kind of...
It's a little battering ram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushing through. Super smart choice. Ooh, sneaking through on the inside. Nice. Big Ugly Girl through for initial.
Yeah, I think one of the keys to Tampa's game here has been their ability to keep their defense together despite whatever their opponent's doing.
Absolutely.
It's like when they send one person for offense, maybe sometimes that works, but I mean they have put up with and tolerated the whole team playing offense on them.
Yes, yes.
So many times in this game.
Yes.
To be able to rack up those multiple scoring passes and and power jam, like in the power jam defense, like shutting down power jams.
Yes.
Yeah, they live through the offense.
They work so well together as a defensive unit, and then
Yep.
individually that strong lateral tracking when they need it too. Banana Split going to push on the strong defensive Naughty Pines wall. Up at the top of the pack, hoping to push him out of play. Just one more, and then lead.
Yeah, and here
And-
comes the Naughty Pines offense, and Tampa shuts it down again.
Seahorse Captain doing some really great offense to get their jammer through.
A blocker apex jump
I
to
love
go
it.
try to catch that Naughty Pines jammer. That
Love
was
it. That was Crush.
103 crush.
Crush has been really crushing it out here today.
Yeah.
Did you see that blocker apex jump?
Oh, yes.
I'm telling you. So many amazing apex jumps.
Got 2 minutes left on the clock. Naughty Pines will start with their pivot. I believe that's DeMonica
DeMonica.
in
Yep.
the box.
We've got Bunyan Rings versus
Naughty Pines starting this jam surrounded.
Woo! Bunyan Rings with a quick little footwork on the outside, but then got swallowed up again by that defense. That's going to be lead jammer
Oh,
for Tampa, and unfortunately Bunyan Rings going to report to the box on a track cut.
yeah, another cut. I think the jam refs are winning this game.
Yes.
Lots of power jams. There's a one-on-one battle up at the front between Anastasia, and I can't identify the blocker, but that was a long, epic
was.
battle. Oh, and gets an out of play, gets an out of play for it.
I believe that's
It was-
4-7. Is that Whalem Jennings?
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
Whalem Jennings. Naughty Pines, like, it seems like all their players are playing multiple positions.
Yes, they're a very
Yeah.
dynamic, diverse group of skaters.
Yeah. Well, that was an epic 10 seconds of one-on-one blocking. before
That was.
penalty. Yeah.
Oh, nice work. Bunyan Rings just really dancing around a whole bunch of blockers there to get through.
40 seconds left in the game. We're probably going into our last jam.
Totally.
Yep.
This has been a great game. Naughty Pines is going to start with one in the box. I believe that's Whalem Jennings as a blocker. We got Mirror Brawl out there for Naughty Pines. And Frisky Whiskers.
Yeah. It's hard to decide if I think Tampa really followed their sort of halftime feedback of staying in control, because I think they were in control the first half too.
I think so.
It felt like about the same, both
Yeah.
halves. Both halves playing with control.
Right? Mirror Brawl really just barely snuck out there on that line. Is going to really haul around there to get those points.
Yeah, her whole bench is jumping up and down because they got a lead jammer in the last 1 point, it looks like.
It's going to be
1 point, and they love it.
0 for Tampa on that last jam.
Yep, Naughty Pines puts up that last point in the last jam
Uh.
to get to the 50
Oh, I
point mark.
love that. A great feeling.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end this game. That is the end of game 2 with Tampa Roller Derby Brews Crew at 239 and Naughty Pines Roller Derby at 50.
All right, and the final score.
Up next, we've got Standbys versus San Fernando Valley.
Standbys versus San Fernando Valley is coming
Yeah.
up at 2 p.m. So that's, well, that may start a little bit late.
We might have gotten back on track though a little bit. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and come back and we'll see you here in about 15 minutes. Or someone will,
Yep,
not us,
not me.
not me.